Welcome back to another episode of the Course Creation Incubator podcast. I'm your host, Gina Onativia, here to get you excited about your course creation, to leave you a little inspired, and to help you build up the online-based business of your dreams. Now, it's been a minute since I had a guest on. I've been really enjoying delivering workshops for you, but I have a special treat for today. I wanted you to hear from my next guest. Demet Tuncer is a new friend of mine and an award-winning actress. She's an international speaker and executive trainer, and she talks about captivating your audience with your magnetic presence. And I mean, we want more of that, don't we? In terms of our courses, we want to captivate our audience when we're building up our audience and we're doing videos, or maybe we're going live on stage. We, of course, want to create an incredible experience for everyone in front of us. Now, how do you break that down, though? How do you say, I want more charisma, give it to me? Well, if you're listening right now and you're saying, well, I could use more charisma, or I feel like I'm not charismatic, well, Demet has a way to break it down so we can all get more attraction into our lives. And she talks about 5 banks that really make up charisma so we can attract our audiences, our clients, our students, our customers in new ways. And you're going to hear her go through those 5 banks in one key. And I think this content is just incredible. As you're listening, think about one bank you want to start with. And without further ado, let's hear from Demet. Demet, welcome to the podcast. This is going to be fun.
Oh, yes. That's what we do. We educate and entertain.
I love it. Okay, let's dive in because I know this is going to be awesome. Charisma. What? Why do we need it as course creators? Why do we need it as business owners?
Charisma is the missing X factor, not only in business, not in everyone's lives, in our normal lives. It's because, think about it, charisma, it's not just sharing content for, let's say, for content creators, for course creators, right?
Right.
There is information all over the place. So it's not giving information anymore, it's creating experience. So when I ask you, like, I would say, hey, Gina, did you go and meet with this so-and-so? You would say, oh, yes, I didn't have a good experience with that, or I didn't have a good experience with going to that place. So the first thing you say is, I didn't have a good experience, but maybe it'll be different for you, right? So we always go back to that experience thing. So I want everyone to think as you're always creating experiences with your presence. So it's not just information. Everyone can buy information. And if you're buying a course, it's going to go on for 12 weeks, 6 months, a year, whatever you name it. You want it to be an experience that they stay, unless you just want them to pay, and that's it. You don't really care about community and that's I don't know. And it never works because they'll buy once and that's it. But unless you want to create, if you want to create a community and you want to grow that community and that experience, and if you're looking for transformation, then you need charisma. You need to create experiences for people, and you need to walk the walk. I'm telling you. You know, one thing I have to say, I was very proud of what I did, but I have to share this with you because this is
Okay.
new information. Do you know Joan, let me see her name, Jonna Mendez? She's the
No.
former chief of disguise of CIA.
Oh, okay.
Don't ask me how I got into that YouTube spiral, but her video pops up and she's talking about disguise and what it matters, and then talks about charisma. And she says, you know what? When we pick our spies, we want to make sure that they have charisma, that there's that charismatic presence. The only thing we cannot teach is charisma in our
Mm.
in the farm. I can teach you everything else, all the information, all the tactical stuff. I can do that. But charisma, you need to have it before you come. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That's what I did. So I get to teach charisma to people. I didn't know it was a thing, but yes, you can teach charisma and you can have we all have charisma. So for content creators, for course creators, for teachers, forget about like private course creators, for high school, elementary, middle school, high school, college, higher education. How
Yeah.
many times have you told your friend, oh, don't take that class from so and so, take it from this?
Yeah. No, plenty of time. Right. And what's the difference? You're saying it's charisma. Okay. But
It's
let's
that.
back up. How do
Back up.
you define charisma then? Ability to create incredible experiences?
I would say it's the inner magnet that we all have
Okay.
that we don't realize. People think that you're either born with charisma or you're doomed. You're not. You're not one of the lucky ones. No, stop. That's not the case. I believe that we are born with charisma, that the we what's the word? How do you say it? That they breathed charisma onto us.
Okay.
So it's built in us. But some people are aware of it and they build on it. Some people are not aware of it and they say, you know what, I was just not born with charisma, which is not the case because people sometimes, most of the times, they feel like charisma has to be an extrovert thing, or you have to be
Right.
loud and, woo,
Yes.
everyone, I'm here, I have arrived.
Right.
But it's not the case. You can be an introvert and still have charisma.
Okay, I love this definition, the inner magnet we all have, because we're talking about stories. So IBM, I've done trainings, content trainings for IBM with software engineers,
Uh-huh.
right? And if you ask them, they'd say, no, the charisma is low. So and that's just not coming from me. Like that's how they feel, right? Because maybe they're not extroverted or they don't think they have interesting stories or content to share. So
Mhm.
how would you work with somebody like that? Because I know you're teaching this in workshops all the time. Okay, where do we start?
Perfect. Great question. The reason why they're saying all those things is because they don't know what to develop. So they don't
Yes.
know what to ask because they feel like, well, I don't have it. So I'll never be charismatic. So I'll just continue with my deep dive engineering stuff or my medical stuff. But here's the thing. It is a skill, and when it's a
Hmm.
skill that means you can develop, but the perfect thing is, what are the components, what are the elements that I need to look for to develop charisma?
Right.
And this is exactly how my journey started with these after a women's Inspire conference. I did a closing keynote, and then they came up to me and asking me, can you teach us what you have? I'm thinking, what do I have? Is it a language barrier? I don't know what I have. And they kept asking me. And then, so they gave me a nickname, the Queen of Charisma. When will you teach us what you have? And then it hit me. They saw the charisma, they saw the delivery, they saw the presence. And I said, how do I teach that? So one night I was talking to my mom and I said, Mom, in America, they give me a nickname. I'm the Queen of Charisma. And she's like, oh, that is too cute. Your dad was so charismatic. So you're just like your dad. So everything just clicked. And I said, wait a minute. So let me sit down and reverse engineer what my dad did
Very
that
good.
worked perfectly. I mean, he opened so many doors.
Yeah.
He was not a politician. He was a lawyer and a journalist, but I felt like the room stopped when he walked in. Like I thought everybody knew my dad and my dad knew everyone, which was of course not the case, but that was the feeling. So, and I added that with my 30 year of stagecraft mastery and then came up with this framework, the five banks and the master key. So the five banks being is, so here is the drum roll. This is what you need to look for, develop it.
Okay, hit us.
Okay, one, knowledge. You need to know your audience. If you
Hmm.
don't know who you're talking to, then you cannot land your message and you need to know your stuff. really well. So when you open your mouth, people respect, listen, and they get value. So the second bank is the character bank. And for the character bank, oh, this is an important one. That's where we go into vocal branding, visual branding. It's how you show up and how you use your voice. We say use your voice, but voice is our instrument. So Gina, do you use your instrument? Do you use piano or do you play the piano?
Mm,
You play
yeah.
the piano,
I
right?
play the
It's an
piano. Yeah.
instrument. So your vocal cords, they're your instruments too. The
Yeah.
difference between using and playing is you could be saying the same thing like this, or you could be saying the same thing like this, right? It's
Yes.
just like,
Yeah.
um, let me give you an example. Like, okay, everybody would know this. Um, when the night has come and the land is dark, and the moon is the only light we'll see. I said it right. But when you play your instrument, when the night has come and the land is dark and the moon, right? It goes into some
Yes.
and your hair starts to stick out. You're like, whoo, goosebumps. Hello. Then you lean in. Then you drop your phone and you listen. You're engaged. Now I'm creating an experience for you. So vocal branding, visual branding, it does not matter. You don't have to be working under a corporation. You are your own empire, as we say, Gina, right?
Oh,
Building our
yeah.
own empires. So you are your own brand. Your voice is not meant for you, it's meant for other people. So you have to know how to use it well. If you have great content, but if you show up like, imagine I'm teaching charisma and you bought my course and the first video and you see someone like, welcome to my charisma course. In this course, we're going to talk charisma, and it's the missing X factor in your life.
Yeah. I know. Oh, I
And
know.
do you
What's
have
happening?
experiences
What's
like this?
happening? Yeah.
Exactly. So, character also allows us to be aware of our bodies. What do we do? What does our voice do? What do we do when we're mad? What happens to our face? What happens to our facials, to our fingers, to our body, right? And that helps us, allows us to read other people.
Hmm.
So what happens? You start to learn how to read rooms, read audiences, read people. So when you're pitching and when you see the signs, you should be able to maneuver your pitch to a place where they're going to start liking it. Otherwise, that's it. So that's the second bank, the character bank. The third bank is very important too. It's humor.
Mm.
You need to have humor in your life, ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen. And humor, and when I say humor, some people think that I'm talking about you have to be a stand-up comedian.
No.
No, humor is not being funny. It could be satire, it could be irony, it could be talking, making fun of yourself, it could be wit, anything. So many sorts of humor, but you have to insert it. It creates lightness, it creates connection, it creates bond, it creates emotional connection. So you have to work on your humor. And the fourth one is the story. Ooh,
Yes.
you need to be able to collect stories from other people. So listen to people. Don't just like be a narcissist when you're having a conversation, but listen, bank those stories. And when you bank those stories, what happens is this, my dad was a master at this. He would talk to people from all walks of life. And whenever the situation was the situation called, he would pull out that story relating to the meeting or to the person he was talking to. And boom, instant connection.
Love
Instant.
it. Yeah.
So the stories, and then as you listen to these stories, then you learn to create your stories, create your presentations, and learn to actually uh, share your information in a storyline. Because I've seen this work with big pharma, medical directors. They just held on to their left brain. They're like, no, these are my charts, these are my graphs. Engineers as well. I'm married to one. Oh my God. No, this is so important. When I calculate this and this is what happens. And I go, so? Like if you talking to technical, that's brilliant. You know, you'll just be loving on your brilliance. But when you need to reach masses, non-technical people, uh, I don't want to say normal people, but people who are not doing what you're doing, you need to tell them what it's for, why it's for, what's it solving, how it's going to solve it. So you
Yeah.
need to create an arc. You need to make it relatable. And that's your story bank. And so the fifth bank is the hardest one for people, is the
Mm.
vulnerability bank.
Vulnerability bank. Okay.
People feel vulnerability, especially as you go up in the chain to
Mm-hmm.
close to suites. They were like, no, 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 we don't show vulnerability. Vulnerability is not a weakness unless you think vulnerability is like crying in the meetings all the time, talking about your childhood trauma all the time. That's not vulnerability. Save that for your therapist. But vulnerability is for a leader to say, you know what, we tried this, it did not work. And that was not the right way to go. We tried it, but now we know. So let's do something else. Or share a little bit about your life, your personal life. It's not going to break you. What it does is it creates that human touch with you, with the people you work with. So they were having this hard time with vulnerability. And I said, this is your superpower. Bank
Mm.
on it. Bank on it. I mean, if somebody came to you and said, you know what, I really want to create a course, but I'm dyslexic and I really can't do this, and I really want this, but I haven't been doing this for. They tell me I can't do this. Are you going to say, yeah, you know what, you can't even write a summary for me, so that's your vulnerability. You're so weak, you can't even do that. You say, oh my God. Of course I can help you. Don't worry, don't stress out. We can have these systems in place. We could do this, we could do that. So you're more accommodating, you're more welcoming because somebody just opened their heart to you and
Mm.
shared some information. So we always have to feel like we always assume for other people, well, they're going to assume I'm weak. You're assuming, right? And what,
Yeah.
what is that thing in English they
Make an ass of you and me when you
Yes,
assume.
exactly. So don't do that. Share a little. But here's the trick. The last part. Now we have the five banks, right? We have the
Yes.
knowledge,
5 banks.
character, we have the humor, we have the story, and we have the vulnerability. You can have all these banks, Gina, all these banks filled to the rim. But unless you have one thing, which is the master key,
Oh,
nobody will know.
what's the
Because
master key?
a master key is courage.
Mm,
The
love it.
courage to step up, open your mouth, deliver, show yourself, show up authentically as you are. And throughout well, this is a huge training, but throughout these
Yeah.
training banks, I know I'm just giving you little
No,
bits.
it's great. I love it. If you do, 2% of this, I feel like it could really impact our courses and our businesses, but please keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So during these banks, what you figure out is you become aware of who you are,
Hmm.
why you do the things you do. So instead of giving them these communication blocks, when this happens, you have to do this. When they say this, you have to say this. Yeah, but when they say something else that you're not trained for, what are you going to do? Hold on, I have to call my communication coach. No, Once you find your authentic communication, the world is your oyster. Then you just have to show up as you are. Be yourself. There are so many people who try to do the same thing. So are you trying to blend in or are you trying to stand out? That's another question. I always ask my executive female clients, are you wearing the pants because they're comfortable to wear or because you feel like you have to wear
You
them?
have to wear them. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Or
it's
no one
not
else will.
exactly. It's like, but it's not where like put your big pants on, like girl pants on. No. Are you trying to be like men? Or are you wearing them because yeah, they're comfortable. So what? I want that. Yeah, they're comfortable. So what? Because this is who I am. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
so proud of it. And I take it everywhere I go. That's my presence. That's my charismatic communication. That's my charisma. That's my magnet. What happens, Gina, is the the magic is that once you activate your charisma, you captivate the crowds and you don't have to go chase opportunities. You attract them. You become a magnet. That's why I said it's our inner magnet. And through these banks, through this framework, it just becomes, it amplifies and it just overflows you. When it does, your aura changes and you just start attracting all these things. Think about a party you go to. Everyone is bubbly and they're wearing great clothes and great everything. Let's say everyone is the same. But you're not drawn to everyone.
Right.
You're drawn to specific
Certain
people,
people.
certain people. Why? That's why. That's the
Yeah.
energy. That's the magnets calling you. But
Okay.
remember, you're not for everyone, and
Right.
everyone's not for you.
Yes. I talk
So
about that all the time.
there you go. So when
It's
they
so
don't call upon you, maybe you're not supposed to go anyway.
right. They're not for you. This is so good, Debit. So much to pull from here as course creators. I think, like I said, even if we took little elements from each bank and just worked on our courses, we would, like you said, the opportunities open up. And I love what you said way back at the beginning, that you re-engineered what your dad did. And I, in the last episode that aired, I was talking about results. You need results, you need a system, and then you need a little push in terms of getting your course done. You were seeing the results, you were doing these speeches, right? And people were saying, oh, I put into place. You were just talking about a workshop you did before we hopped on. You had a system for your dad that you re-engineered. And then push after that workshop. I'm sure you get multiple people saying, hey, how can you teach me this? Where's the course? Right. So I know one of the next steps that you and I have talked about is maybe doing a course on this.
Yes, definitely. That's where we're going to start building the empire, Gina.
Yeah, because you've got the results, you've got the system, you're getting not just nudges, you're getting pushes on this. Like, hey, where can I buy this? How can you train me? Right? And then if I don't get to do it in person training, how do I get the benefit of this? And that's where your course is coming to play.
Exactly. And then my mind goes to, okay, because of my background with
Mhm.
entertainment. So this course, it's not going to be like, well, this is our first lesson. So
Right, right,
if
right.
you're done, let's go to our next lesson. And I have some exercises down LinkedIn for you. And then make sure to, send me a hello, a shout out. So, yes, I want it to be interactive. I want it to be fun,
Yeah,
entertaining, because what I found out throughout my years in the industry is that when you want to tell people something or when you want to teach them, you don't really teach them. You kind of make a skit out of it, make it entertaining that it sticks. That's that's what we keep. We don't keep the you should never smoke, you should never do this, you should not go out after 10, whatever it is.
right.
Right? So, but when you twist it and when you make it accessible for our nervous system to grab onto and say, "Oh my God, I love this. This makes me feel so good," and we keep that. I mean, think about all the jokes that we still remember,
Yeah, oh yeah.
the unnecessary jokes. So yes, definitely a course creation that is going to actually, for in my case, bilingual, maybe, you never
Yeah.
know.
Never
Yep,
know.
yep. So here's another trick. Maybe it's something you talk about when you're working with your clients.
Yeah.
It's very different when you are speaking to a camera, to a lens, hello,
Mm-hmm.
than a stage. So speaking and delivering on camera is it will be different than stage. And which brings me to, oh my God, Jen, which brings me to the question of you definitely need when you're doing the course creation, do you also tell them how to deliver your course?
Oh yeah.
There you go. That's what you have to do. If you just get people, they say, I have this course and I'm ready, and or thank you for creating the course, and I'm just going to shoot right now, video, 3, 2, 1, go. And if the delivery is flat, you probably are going to pull
Oh
in your
no.
hair thinking,
Oh, we talk about it all the time. It's not just for stages, it's for video, it's for delivering course content. Heck, it's even if you're doing slides with audio and they're not even seeing you on camera, all of these banks come into play. You know, you want to bring the character, you want to bring to me, that's life, that's energy, right? That
yes,
I'm looking for. And every
exactly.
time I take a training.
How many times have you thought to yourself, talking to someone on the phone without seeing them, without knowing them, but feeling, oh my God, I mean, she had great energy. I really want to
Yes.
meet that person.
100%. And I've seen the opposite. I was doing interviews for an agency I consult for. This was last month, and I they looked professional, like young people, right? And they looked the part, and then the energy was just through the floor, like it wasn't there at all. And I'm thinking to myself, I can't hire this person. And it's not about extrovert versus introvert. You mentioned that early on. It's we did end up hiring kind of an introverted person, but who had really great energy and had charisma, had had that certain X factor, right? And was passionate about their experience and what they had done. And it's contagious too. Like, yeah, I know you I'm sure you talk about that in your talk, that it's
Oh,
contagious.
I mean, it's physiological too. It's
Mm.
mirroring neurons. So we have
Yeah.
neurons. And when you, let me tell you, for those of you who are listening, like, pre go back to the times when you're watching a movie, and it's just so sad. And the person is talking to the other person like this. Well, I really loved you all those years. I didn't know what to say, but it's not fair that you're with somebody else, right? So the face
Yeah.
is like, and your partner comes in and says, "What are you doing with that face?" Well, right? So they catch you on that, but
Yeah.
you don't know that you're watching the scene, and the scene is like,
Because you're mirroring the scene,
you're
right?
mirroring
Yeah.
the scene. It's exactly the same when you're
Yeah.
teaching a course or when you're watching somebody give a talk. It's so you have to be careful with what you do and how you use it because we mirror, the audience mirrors what you do.
Yes. So good. So good. Okay. We've got to wrap it up. I know we could talk about this all day. Let us
No.
know where we can learn more about you and get more training from you, potentially, Demet.
Well, they can always find me on LinkedIn. I
Okay.
am getting my website done I'm turning it into from entertainment to charisma consulting.
Yay.
Yeah, I know. So that's coming up, but they can always find me on LinkedIn because I share some bite-sized information, some videos on my LinkedIn as well. So they can definitely find me there and book a session, book a strategy call from Calendly. It's on there on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And if they want me for their corporate teams, again, you can reach me from there, speaking or just saying, "Oh my God, I have this comment on your video. This was so good, but I have this question."
Hit you
I'm
up on LinkedIn. Okay. Well, make sure we list that in the show notes.
Yes.
And thanks again. This is a lot. I'm going to think about this for the next few days and how I want to implement. So
You know
thank
what?
you.
I'll let you create a course on what we talked about. Here you go.
Oh, Thank you. Thank you so much. What did you think? Which of the banks are you going to work on? For me, I think I might be working on the character piece and how I can use my voice more as an instrument. So I'd love to know what you guys are going to work on. Maybe it's your energy, maybe it's your humor or your vulnerability. Send me a message on LinkedIn or IG. I would love it. And hopefully this was meaningful for you guys and impactful. Go to demettuncer.com to learn more about how you can get her content. Until next time. All right, next week, we're going to continue our series of the biggest questions that we get asked. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss one episode. Think about signing up for our Done For You services if you want hand-holding through your entire course in marketing. And until next week, go create, be you and be brilliant, and get it done.